Hey gaming fans, so today I have a Magic the Gathering deck profile, and this one is Goblins, and it's for the Pauper format. Now, when I first started playing Magic, that was a very long time ago, I kept up with the game. I bought the new sets every time they came out. I have tons and tons of the old cards, and I've kind of stopped after, a couple years. I haven't really been buying new Magic cards at all. And I have all these cards, and I thought, it's a shame that I can't really build anything out of there because it wouldn't be legal and standard and all that stuff. But then I discovered there's a Pauper format where you're allowed to use cards from any set that was printed. As long as the card was printed as a common, you can use it. There is a ban list, which if you go on the Wizards of the Coast website, you can see which cards you're not allowed to use. So anyways, I thought it'd be fun to start building a few Pauper decks. Just, some old cards that I had lying around. And I thought, let's revisit a deck that I used to love playing when I was, when I first got into the game. And that is Goblins. So this deck is pretty much about throwing out a lot of little weenie goblins, boosting their attacks, and then damaging with a couple of spells. So for the lands, we got 19 mountains. Nothing exciting here, just all mountains. So 19 of those. Because I'm trying to keep a lot of the casting costs down, so it's not so expensive. Cards are not too high in casting costs, because we want to finish off our opponent as quickly as possible. So to start with our creature lineup, we're going to go with 4 of the Goblin Balloon Brigades. I like this guy because he's 1 mana and he can fly if you need him to. So if your opponent's not playing any flyers, this guy's going to pretty much get through on its next attack. You do have to pay the 1 red to make it flying, but that's okay. I mean, a lot of your spells and stuff in this deck are really cheap. So then we got 4 Raging Goblins. So this guy basically comes into play with haste and can attack the turn he comes into play. 1/1. I mean, it is weenie, but we will be boosting them up. Then I have 2 Goblin Sledders, kind of a finisher goblin. Sacrifice a goblin, target creature gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. So say you have like 5 or 6 goblins in play. Your Balloon Brigade can attack directly because he's the only flyer, for instance. Then you can just sacrifice all your other goblins and boost them up. So that could be kind of a finisher thing. You're not going to want to do it right away because you want to keep your goblins on the field. Then we got 4 Sparksmith. So this is a goblin that he taps to deal damage to target creature, and then the same amount to you. So you're going to take a little bit of damage, but you're going to get rid of your opponent's creatures, and that's X is equal to the number of goblins in play. So I figured, you'd want to remove your opponent's creatures as fast as possible. Get them out of the way. Maybe there's one that's a nuisance. You got to get rid of it. So then I have part of a combo piece here, and this is Spike Shot Goblin. So he's got a fling effect to him, so you pay 1 red and tap him, and then he deals X damage to it. It's equal to its power to target creature or player. So right now he's only going to do 1 because his power is 1, but we're going to boost him up, and then we'll be able to fling him at the opponent. And then for our last creature, we have Goblin Matron. So Goblin Matron, he comes into play, he searches your library for a goblin card, and then puts it into your hand, and then you shuffle your library. So you're going to grab any of your combo pieces if you need your Spike Shot Goblin or your Sparksmith or whoever you need. You're going to grab that 1 goblin that you need, or just grab, the Flying Goblin or whatever is going to help you win the game. So then for the sorcery lineup we got right now, I got 4 Goblin Grenades. So this is basically a goblin that grabs a grenade and throws it at the opponent and blows himself up in the process. So you sacrifice a goblin to have Goblin Grenade deal 5 damage to 1 target. So that would be pretty much creature or player. These all are older cards, so they have all old text on them. But yeah, so after you've done, you just blow your goblin up for 5 and take your opponent down. Then to boost your goblins up, I'm playing the classic Bloodlust. So this is a target creature gets +4/-4 till the end of turn. If it reduces the creature's toughness to less than 1, then its toughness becomes 1. Otherwise, it would kill the creature. So it pretty much makes your goblins, your 1/1s into 5/1s. So you're going to use these to help boost up your goblin. And like I said, with this guy, you boost him up with Bloodlust, then he gets bigger. If you have 2, or if you have Fists of the Anvil, which is the same thing, it's an instant speed, and it just simply gives it +4 instead of doing the reducing of the toughness. So if you could play 2 or 3 of these on your goblin that can fling himself, then you're going to be able to just attack with that and then fling him at the opponent. And then for more attack boost goodness, we have Screaming Fury, three of those, because they're 3 mana instead of 2. Target creature gets +5 and gains haste until the end of turn, which is kind of cool because if you're in the later game and you get your Spike Shot Goblin, you draw him, you can actually summon him and then play Screaming Fury and then use his effect. So that's pretty cool. Then to help finish off the opponent, again in the later game, if you get that far, I put 3 Fire Blasts. I was thinking if maybe 2, because this is more of a finisher card. You can pay 4, 5, 6 mana to do 4 damage to target creature or player, or you could sacrifice 2 mountains instead. So you tap out all your lands, you use your goblins, you use your spells, and then you can just pop your 2 lands and play this for nothing and do 4 damage to your opponent. So really cool card. And then to finalize the deck, I just put in some mana acceleration in the form of Brightstone Ritual. So this adds 1 red to your mana pool for each goblin in play. So in the beginning, you're going to be pulling out your little weenie goblins, and this will help accelerate your mana to play your Bloodlusts and your Goblin Grenades and all that stuff, and hopefully kill your opponent. So yeah, that was the deck I decided to put together. I thought it'd be fun just to do a couple of like Magic decks, a couple of Pauper decks. I know a lot of my channel that you've been seeing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh content, so I thought it'd be fun to change it up and start doing some Magic content as well. So I have a few other deck ideas in mind that I'm going to do, just based on old deck concepts that I used to do, but it'll be a bit of a challenge now because, you know, only being able to use common cards, but that's not a big deal. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Do you play Magic? Do you play any other card games? I always like to hear your thoughts. Throw them down in the comments. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.